Well, good morning. I wanted to do a live stream. I found something interesting this morning that I really want to get out there quickly. Because I found a big connection, not just a small one, between our lovely group of peoples that I have been speaking about and another group of peoples that I haven't been speaking about. So I want to get into the first thing, which is I got my coffee. I hope you got your coffee. My cat had kittens, and so far they're 4. She had them under the bed, so I'm not disturbing her. We'll see when she takes them out. I just know they're healthy. One's got a huge meow. So, I'm cleaning my house still, you know.
Unknown caller.
Hold on, please. Hello? I think there's a social security number scam going on. I just get a call. There's a problem with my social security number. I told them I was going to call the social security office. Okay, no problem. Click. I should have said quick, hide the bodies. But I didn't. Alright, anyways. Yeah, so it's a cleaning week. Emily is my daughter is officially at school for 4 days a week, which is going to be a huge thing in my home. I'm worried about the virus, yes, but I'm also worried about our mental health and where she's at with her education, and she does so much better when she has face-to-face with her teachers, than online. So we're trying it this way, see what happens, see if there's any improvements. I can't be afraid all the time, I think. So, moving on. The political quackery. I know people are probably getting sick of me getting upset about Black Lives Matter. I had an instance the other day where I got totally upset because this is how important all this stuff is to the United States, and it seems like people don't really give a shit. Excuse my language. But the United States is under attack, whether you guys want to admit it or not. We have a virus out there that, for all intents and purposes, I don't really feel it's not a lab leak or gain of function. We also have the United States military with a chip to go in your body, in your hand, that is going to tell you whether or not you have this virus or not within days or minutes. We also have a lot of surveillance, a lot of towers going up. It just seems kind of funny that everything blew to crap in the United States right after this virus happened with the lockdowns and when people started loosening restrictions. Who comes on the scene? Black Lives Matter does for the policing. Alright? Trust me on this one. The system that's failing our youth of today and our people is not the police department. Things need to be caught before 911 has to be called in. They're doing their jobs because other people are slipping with their jobs. And I will say, DCF, Department of Children and Families, the exact things that you want to defund the police and put funding into, which they have all sorts of funding in, is DCF, the psychiatry field. They're failing families. And I know this for a fact because I know two people, and they're white people. Has nothing to do with race. Where there was issues with the kids, where the kids were out of control and the parents needed the help, and you would ask for the help, and you can't get it. You can't get the help for your kid. They deny you. It only takes one time for something to happen. One time for somebody to die. It only takes one time for somebody to get hurt. Why does it have to come to that one time? Do you know, in my state, and it varies by state, you cannot get a restraining order against a man who is abusive or a woman who is abusive to protect your children unless there's physical harm present. Doesn't matter psychologically, doesn't matter verbally, doesn't matter, if they threatened you bodily harm, it doesn't matter. Those are just words to them. It doesn't matter, none of that matters. There has to be physical evidence of abuse, physical abuse. That is a problem. That needs to be changed in our system. Why should it come down to one time somebody hitting somebody, or somebody stabbing somebody, or somebody shooting somebody, and then help comes in the form of the police? I spent a year trying to get a restraining order against a verbally and emotionally abusive person in my home to separate us. And I couldn't get it until there was physical abuse. A year. You know what could have happened during that year? I lost my job. Because I was losing my mind. It's not his fault I lost my job, mind you. But he didn't help. You can't have problems at work, go home to your home is supposed to be your haven. Your home is supposed to be a child's haven. When you come home from work, from a long day, with all the stress that went on at work, you want to sit down and you want to be safe. And if you can't be safe in your home, and you're back and forth to a stressful place to a home that is not a safe place, what happens? What happens? And if your kid can't have a bad day at home, at school, and come home to a safe place to where there's no yelling and fighting, no threatening, and just talk about their day and try to get it all out, and then do what they have to do, there's a problem. Because the kid didn't do anything. Personal experience. The day that crap hit the fan here, I was not drinking. He was drinking a lot. Okay? He was drunk. I was not. I'll tell you one thing, the police had it written down in the reports that I was drinking. Okay? I don't drink. It's funny. Everybody kept asking me. I'm like, I don't drink. They asked me in the hospital, have you had anything to drink? I go, hell no. I mean, hell no. Why would I have anything to drink when I'm being abused by an alcoholic? Well, somebody's got to keep their head. And then you know what he did? After I got my daughter into a safe place, and I was going to get the help at the hospital that I needed before I hurt myself or hurt him, he faked, when he couldn't get at my daughter, he faked a heart attack to get into the hospital to get to me. They had to hide me in the hospital. It had to get to that point with police intervention before something happened. The police are not psychiatrists. Why did I have to? I saw a restraining order for over a year before this happened. Why did it have to be where the police had to intervene even? And yet, this is type of stuff that's going on in the United States. You know why these laws are out there? You know why police use excessive force? You know why police use the no-knock warrant? All this stuff is because people have taken advantage, and the laws are there because of the previous people who have broken the law, that have made the law necessary. I have two personal people in my life who had problems with their kids. And they tried for years. I'm talking over 8 years to get help for their kids. And something had to happen before, with the police involved, before the help came. And one of them wasn't a good one. One of them was actually the threat of murder to the mother, because the kid didn't even recognize who his mother was. He was not in his right state of mind. He was triggered. She had to call the police in to protect her, after years of trying to get him help. What's a parent to do when the system is failing these kids, when the system is failing these parents and these mothers? It's not the police failing them. This particular mother called the police because her life was in danger. They took him because he wasn't in his right mind. It was a mental health issue, and brought him to the hospital. He escaped the hospital, got his hands on a machete. They couldn't cut a freaking tomato, much less anything else. But he did. He was a kid. And he ended up back at home. And the mother was ordered out of the house. And she was to stay up at the top of the driveway. I stood with her. And while her baby put the machete on the table and hid in the closet, of all places, we had about 10. I had to turn her around physically and talk to her. I put my daughter in the neighbor's house because I didn't want her in the house with the guns. But we had like 10 armed troopers with semi-automatic weapons go down there to get him. It was overkill. He wasn't a threat to anybody but himself at that point. But because he had the machete and he threatened his mother's life, they didn't know what the situation was. They had to do what they had to do. Ended up, he's afraid of dogs. The dog bit him, you know. But it's not funny, but it's just really sad in America seeing how the police are being the bad guys here, when the police are taking the fall for all the rest of the system. And it's not racism at all. Because the two people I'm talking about are white. I also witnessed, let's say, it was a lot more than 10 years. It's about 13, 14, 15 years ago. I was sitting up in my house and heard shots. Looked down here. They killed a man that had a machete. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is about the machetes. Maybe it was the same machete he found. Maybe that's why it was so dull. But the guy came out of the house with a machete. He's threatening to kill himself. And he took a step towards the cops, and the cops blew him away. And he was white. It's not just the black people it happens to. It reminded me exactly of what's going on with these people stepping, people. Not, I don't care what color they are, they're people. They're stepping towards the cops with a knife, with a gun, with this, with that. And the cops are shooting because they're in danger. They feel like they're in danger. One of the ones that I saw where the guy went to the cop's motorcycle and was running away, I think because he was running away, he was shot in the back. I think that might have been not that was, I don't know. That one is a very iffy one to me because he was running and his back was turned and the cop shot him in the back. And we're not supposed to be doing that. Even if somebody comes into your house, depending on the state you're in, if somebody comes into your house, you can't shoot them if they're running away. That's on you. So that should be on the cop. But all these other things, they're all you know, it's just a mess in the United States, and I want to cry. So I'm living here. I'm trying to talk to people who don't even really live here. And it's such a mess. It started with the virus. All of a sudden, BLM is out there messing with the cops. Then we're hearing Patrice Cullors say she's a trained Marxist, or the group's a trained Marxist. Well, I'm gonna show you something I found today. This is why I decided to actually stream, because I actually found the link to the Marxism. I lost a family member because of these people. It's personal. Okay? I had put Patrice Cullors was a trained Marxist up on my Facebook page, and my sister-in-law told me to stop spreading lies. I wasn't lying. Now, I do gotta look, because I got a lot here. I better have save that one. Where did I do? Where's I had done a whole video before, and I didn't have my what's this? Oh no, I don't want that. I didn't have my I think I'm gonna go into my history here. Didn't have my microphone on, which really was a shame. But where is it? Oh, here's one of them. This is the first one. The other one's easy to get to. This is the article. Alright, the Black Lives Matter Foundation raised $90 million in 2020 and gave almost a quarter of it to local chapters and organizations. Alright, a year of change in the name of racial justice is hard to quantify. But a 2020 impact report released this week by Black Lives Matter movement historic numbers speak volumes. The Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation said in the report that it raised over $90 million in 2020 alone, given about a quarter of it, nearly 3 times the industry norm, to Black Lives Matter chapters and local organizations, which we know some said that they didn't really receive something like that. The report comes after a year of nationwide protests calling for racial justice and police reform. This has been a record-breaking year for fundraising, which has been matched with just as historic amount of campaign budgets and grant disbursements, the foundation wrote. Donation averages were $30 through the foundation's main fundraising platform, and over 10% of donations were recurring. Okay, here's where the link I wanted to show you. The rest of it, I'll give you the link and you can read it. But the foundation is invested in the grassroots. Okay. 30 local organizations, 23 led by Black LGBTQ people, have each committed a 6-figure grant from the foundation, according to the report. Official and unofficial Black Lives Matter chapters also receive funding, totaling almost a quarter of the year's donations that went to local organizations. That is $21.7 million that will go towards the sustenance of Black communities and Black movement building, towards creating a world in which Black Lives Matter, the foundation wrote. I want to see articles on this to know that they're doing that. In 2020, Black Lives Matter launched a sister organization to the foundation called Black Lives Matter Grassroots, which focuses on local level activism. Okay. Through their movement is entirely continues to be driven by deep sense and purpose and commitment. Black Lives Matter Grassroots will remain fundamentally connected to our work on the front lines where it all started, the foundation wrote. Grassroots. This is where you got to do your homework. What is grassroots? I thought I had put it. Alright, I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna find it through the history. All I have to do is pull up one of the page. this is, as you can read, Communist Party USA, People and Planet Before Profits. I'm not going through this whole thing. I will put it up here. This is what the Communist Party of the USA is. It's Marxism. Practice theory. Click here. All right. Now we know she's a trained Marxist. This is where she's trained about study. You can even do classes on Marxism. All right. This is pretty pathetic. All right. You got like 9 pages of classes. Now, that's not where I did it though. I hit the donate button because I knew I saw that name Grassroots before. Donate. Members of the Communist Party USA are dedicated to helping advance the day-to-day struggles of the working class and all the people on the road to Socialist USA. Support our work today with your donations. Can you think of a better investment than the progressive future of the country or the world? The work of the Communist Party is funded solely by donations from grassroots supporters and allies across the country. Grassroots. They are funded solely by that. And then you come over here and you see they're investing towards grassroots. What does that mean? Now, anybody overseas is going to laugh. Kinda. I would hope they'd laugh at this. Because in the Constitution, in their articles on who they protect and who they work for, is it in their Constitution? Hold on. Hold on. Is it that or is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Alright. They help people, supposedly. Alright? The Road to Socialism USA is a program of the Communist Party USA adopted in 2005 and updated by our 100th anniversary convention in 2019 in Chicago. It offers our view of a path from struggles of present-day, all-day socialism, a strategy of struggle, unity, reform, and revolution. Alright. You get on here. And who are they fighting for with all this? And you're fighting for, okay, capitalism, oppression, the working class struggle and forces for progress, okay? The working class and trade union movement, special oppression and exploitation, the complexity of interconnection of national and racial oppression, multiracial, multinational unity for full equality against racism, core forces for progress. Okay, they're exploiting Marxism right now, too. African Americans, Mexican Americans, Puerto Ricans, Native peoples, other indigenous peoples, immigrants, Muslims, and Middle Eastern peoples, Asians and Asian Americans, the struggle for full equality for women, youth and students, additional social forces for progress, LGBTQ community, farmers and the rural population, seniors, the Jewish community, and anti-Semitism, social movements for progress, progressive culture, healthcare struggles, and progressive and democratic religious movements. Now, with thus being said, I'm gonna actually add an image that I created today. Why that doesn't make sense to me. Okay, let me find it. It really blows my mind. That's the U.S. socialism movement. Now, I've been reading about Marxism. I know it's different overseas than it is in the United States for some reason. I also do know that Black Lives Matter claims to be a freedom fighter, which the attack on the American businesses is not freedom fighting. For freedom fighters normally fight the government. They normally do not have the general populace as victims, and throughout this whole year we've had the general populace as victims, and it's disgusting. So they're not freedom fighters in my book. I guess there's a question about the definition of a freedom fighter, but a freedom fighter normally just goes after the government. They don't go after people. And so that's what you call terrorism when it's on your home soil. If the people, you can tell because our business owners were beat up when they were trying to protect their businesses. This is an attack on our business owners. This is an attack, a direct attack on our business owners that employ people. They just want a working class, and I don't know how that works, because if you get rid of part of the classes, you just got a ruling class that can exploit a working class. All right, that's my concern. Now, and it's a huge concern, because Biden put out today that his suggestion is we're not supposed to be eating as much meat as as we do. He wants to control how much meat we eat. What? What? Do you really want communism in the United States? Now, from my understanding, Marxism and Leninism and true socialism is blind towards race, religion, and gender. So why in that communist thing, in that socialist website, are all those things listed? And did you notice not one thing said white man or Caucasian? Not one. And from what I've been reading about Marxism is they don't want nationality. They want the land. It's like a one, everybody owns everything type of thing. However, if you go into different places that do have socialist governments, there's different socialists, there's different communists. My friend said he don't know what type of communist that China is. But we're dealing with China, and China's been infiltrating us. And China's the worst. The worst of the worst. You all think it's bad with the police in the United States? China don't give you a reason. They take you off the street and you're not seen for days. Sometimes you're not seen again at all. They don't need a reason. Their complaints are, there's not enough people helping with murders and solving crimes, and it's all political. It's all for the government. The policing is for the government. So you want nobody that protects you? Absolutely no one? In some places, it's illegal to be overweight. And for the United States, that's going to be bad. In the long run, it might be good because it might teach us to be healthier. But I wanted to show you the link between where your money's going. They're supporting this grassroots. Now, like I said, early on, when I learned that Colors said she was a trained Marxist, and I put it out there on Facebook, my sister-in-law told me to stop spreading lies. And I told her I'm not spreading lies. She said that. Okay? It got to the point this year when I said, look, I don't want somebody, a family member or anybody, commenting on my Facebook unless they care about me. I don't want no more political stuff on my Facebook. I mean, I'll put it up there, but don't sit there and put me down for what I say. Everybody has a right to how they feel. If you don't like what I say, move on, just like I do with everybody else. But no, the only time my sister-in-law was posting was when I would put a political post up against Black Lives Matter and Antifa. Because she was amplifying voices for that movement. And she felt so bad for them. And it broke my heart to see my white Canadian-born sister-in-law crying over something she wasn't even responsible for. I'm not responsible for my ancestors' stuff. And neither is she. Her ancestors are from Canada. So yes, it broke my heart to see her even crying over that. And then she's raising money for these people that are making her think that she has some sort of advantage over them. She's an immigrant. She's married to my brother. My brother does business for himself. Do they realize that a communist position is, the socialist position is eliminating the business owners? You don't have anybody working under you. They don't want exploitation of the workers, which I can see on a level where that might be a good thing. But at the same time, they're trying to say that the marriages are only of convenience so that they can get more money. They're trying to say that they know why people get married, which is wrong. And then kind of put out what I felt, because I'm not used to telling my family members how I feel. Thanksgiving rolled around. There was no happy Thanksgiving on my timeline from my brother or his wife. Christmas rolls around. No Merry Christmas from my brother or his wife. New Year runs around. Oh, and his son had a birthday. My daughter had a birthday, and there was no happy birthday from my brother or his wife. And then there was another New Year roll around. No Happy New Year. That's what family does, right? Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Hey, what are you doing? You want to come over for dinner? You know, I can't make them say all that stuff, but I can't make them invite me to dinner. And I can't invite them to dinner. I could invite them to dinner too, but they never show up when I did. I always make it a point to contact my brother on his birthday, which I never forget. And this year I didn't forget either. Although I wanted to. But my pig-headedness, my heart won out. And then all of a sudden she's mentioning something on a Black Lives Matter post that I posted. Trying to make me look like an idiot because I don't know what I'm talking about. So I said, if you're just going to contact me when I post stuff like this, don't bother. You might as well block me because I don't want to be indoctrinated with your stuff. I'm not here to indoctrinate when it's family. I'm here to be your family member. There's a difference. I just showed you the link between Black Lives Matter, Marxism, socialism, and the Communist Party of the United States. Don't tell me I'm wrong. And because Black Lives Matter is not just in the United States, this is a global issue. They're doing this with police everywhere. It's not just in the United States. This is going on in Australia. This is going on in the UK. This even went on in Russia. This is going on. The only place that I see that it really hasn't, unless I haven't seen the things that it has gone on in, are places like China, where they can take you off the streets and you'll be never seen again. Kamala Harris, her husband, is in a big law firm that is based in China. And when business comes over with the heads of their businesses, and vice versa, when we go over there, what comes along with it? The political agendas. When President Trump was running against Hillary Clinton, I had a dream that Trump got in. I'm like, oh God, there goes the neighborhood. Trump's going to get in. Yeah, I had a dream about it. This year, in August, around August, I had a dream of a Chinese warship pulling into New York Harbor, which is near where the White House would be. China got elected. Communism got elected. Your country right now is in, the country of the United States right now is under attack. Your small business owners and big business owners are under attack. You don't get it. They don't care about the police. We can sit there and we can prosecute policeman after policeman after policeman. It's not the policeman they want. It's they want to change the system of government into a socialist society. They want to have a reason for anarchy. And I'm going to tell you, all these Antifa people and these anarchists that do not have jobs, when you're sitting there wanting a socialist society, you know what? You're paid to as much as you work. So I hope you all have jobs, because you're all going to have to work for your pay. Your pay, you get according to your work. That's how it works in socialism. Or supposed to, from what I understand. Is this really what you want for the United States? Do you want to play that game of blame the police? It's the system that's failing. It's not the police. It's not the police at all. The police are being called in. They shouldn't even have these calls. They should. I mean, a girl, a 15-year-old wielding a freaking butcher knife, a steak knife, and going to cut people up. Wasn't DCF care? Who failed that child? It wasn't the police. Who put that child in that position in the first place? It was not the police. Who didn't teach that child, if you're sitting there running around with a knife to cut somebody, you might end up in a place that you don't want to be ending up in? It's heartbreaking. It's trickling down to our children. You're looking on the surface. What was DCF doing with that child? I watched on Law and Crime Network, if you look that up, Law and Crime Network on YouTube, they have the full trial of this guy named John Chuck, I think is his name. Schizophrenia. Since his youth. Off his medicine. He believed as he threw his daughter off of a bridge, this happened in Florida, that he could save the world. Don't tell me no schizophrenia, because that was what made my friend's son think that his mother wasn't his mother. Do not tell me they're in their right mind when they're acting like that. That child should never have been in his care. Get it? The system failed. DCF failed. The police were called in. They're not the professionals, though. There was so many warning signs given. Even in his childhood, he was failed. The system failed. And guess what happened? Because the system failed, that little girl got murdered. Wasn't the police's fault. I don't have all the answers to all these problems in the United States. And I am very leery with blaming parents, because when a child reaches a certain age, it's a lot of influences coming from outside society with their friends and in their community. So I don't know the answers. I didn't grow up in situations like that. I grew up in the system, though. I grew up in poverty. I was a ward of the state. I saw how my grandmother had to fight for us. I still fight. Medical, everything. It's a fight. I mean, Patrisse Cullors, again, like I said, she has accrued millions of dollars for herself using a capitalistic system, but is acclaimed Marxist. And she's funding a socialist, communist party of the USA that is against having business owners own anything and have you work for them. And who owns everything if the business owners don't? The government owns it. People don't own it. So what do you want? It's your choice. You make the decision. I still have a lot of homework to do. But right now, what I see in America, it's kind of scary. We're transitioning to a socialist party system. And like I said, true socialism is blind towards race, religion, and gender. In China, they can believe what they want with their religion. They cannot practice it. You will not be able to go to church every Sunday morning. And from some of the things I read, the only ones that get to go to church in China are the tourists. So, if you can't practice your religion, what's going to happen when Black Lives Matter goes to pour libations for all these deaths? And chanting. That's practicing a religion. They're not going to be able to do it. All these genders that you're naming yourself as, guess what? A true socialism, you don't have those genders. Do you really want to give up your individuality? I don't know what the answer is, and it just seems like, okay, they got what they wanted with Black Lives Matter. Now we're moving into crimes against Asians. That's the next psych op they're going towards. So it's not going to be the black people anymore. It's going to be more Asian oriented. Who's going to win out? Who's the one where it supposedly has a lab leak? China. I don't know. So how's your day going? Paul, are you still with me? I have friends that frequent my that I talk to that are outside of the United States. One of my friends is really helping me understand all this. As a matter of fact, he's the one that coined this phrase, true socialism is blind towards race, religion, and gender. Okay? That's true socialism. Because when you can see beyond somebody's race, religion, and gender, that's when you're seeing the human person. You're not defining them by what they look like or what they practice. I can't say I don't agree with that. I really do agree with that. True socialism. I think a government should be blind towards race, religion, and gender. However, what the Black Lives Matter did was, with their Communist Party, you see, they brought it in. We are under attack. Our democracy is under attack. I just appreciate you listening to me. I had to get it out this morning. The United States of America in our, I think it's the Constitution, I'm not sure, Declaration of Independence, I'm not sure which one it is. We all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These people want you to lose your right to the pursuit of happiness. They don't want you to strive towards being a business owner or working towards your goals, working towards what you really want. They don't want you doing it. And I am a little put out, and I'm going to say this for one right now. The autonomous zone that they had last year wasn't true socialism. All the whites had to give the blacks money when they left. That was true extortion. I appreciate you too, Paul. I appreciate all my friends and family. I just wish, you know, you can't make everybody see what you see. And it breaks my heart sometimes, because it's sometimes the people that are closest to you that push back the hardest. And it shouldn't be that way. It's not the way family should be. It's not the way life should be. So anyways, it's been an hour and I'm talk, and I have to get this house clean someday. So I'm going to sign off and say have a great night, have a great day, and a great tomorrow. I know I'm not great at speaking and doing this stuff. Part of this, if you're one of my listeners for the borderline, part of the reason why I'm doing this is I had told my therapist I would blog things, and this is one of my way of coping. You all have a great night, a great day, great morning. Enjoy your Cuppa. Enjoy your rain if you got rain. Enjoy your sunshine if you got sunshine. Remember, without the rain, we couldn't be here.